Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today I'm going to give you my must-build units for day one of Etheria restart. This is a list that I personally am going to use, the units that I'm going to be focused on, so I can farm Terramaton, Doky Doi, Aurora, the shell fights. Like, if you build the units I'm going to recommend right here, you will be able to farm everything you need to farm in this game successfully, and I'm going to break it down fight by fight. I have some nice infographics to show you, but first, let's start with the kind of exciting news that we're about under a week away from this game coming out. 6.5 days from the time of recording this video, and that's pretty dang exciting. So know what you're going to focus on. That's what I'm going to help you with here. I'm going to throw a graphic on the screen now. This is the graphic I'm going to refer to a lot of times during this video, and I'll kind of break down what all those categories mean, but I want to start with that orange box at the top, the most important box. And that's because no matter what your goal is, the most important character on your account is the character that's your favorite. So even though she's not going to make my list, say Chiata here was your favorite character in this game, all the SSR characters in this game work. Heck, if your favorite character is an SR character, they basically all work. Whatever your favorite character is that is going to make your enjoyment of this game more, absolutely build them from the beginning and focus on them. They will be useful and they'll make playing the game more fun for you. So build your favorite character. That is the most important character on this list. I don't know what my favorite character is going to be yet. I haven't decided, but I do know who I'm going to build to farm with, and that's the focus of this video. Getting your account like usable is the goal here. So let's throw that graphic back on the screen for a second. And let's start by talking about Terramaton. Now, for Terramaton, I list two units as like absolute must builds on day one, Leon and Dina. Now, Leanne, the nice thing about her, we all get her for free right when you start playing. So she's an easy build unit. In fact, there's missions in this game that help you build her out. So she's absolutely a queen on Terramaton, and she's perfect for the fight. So build her up. Then Dina is the next unit I'm talking about. Dina will not only help you on Terramaton, but like all of the units on this list, she's going to slide into a lot of other content for you as a debuffer. I tried to really pick units for myself that are absolutely SSSSS tier in a fight like Dina is in Terramaton, but also incredibly usable in the rest of the content in this game. Dina is no joke, probably the best debuffing unit that we have access to. So she's amazing, like one of the single best units in Terramaton, but will carry your account in other ways. So if you look into Terramaton and you look at like teams that clear this effectively, what you'll see is that Dina is in about all of them. And then for like not end game teams, you're going to see Leon in a ton of those as well. And in fact, even in like 27-second clears, look who's there. It's Dina and it's Leon. So they're all over this. Now, if I throw that graphic back on the screen for a second, we can talk about how you would like piece some of your teams together around them. And at that point, that's where you're going to look to like the speed squad and the DPS bros. Speed squad and DPS bros, you want to try to build for those categories I have over at the right. In my opinion, you want at least one character from each of those categories. It might not necessarily matter which one you pick. For the speed squad, I think Lily is the best character in this game, like just actually the best character in this game, but she's a dark character. You probably don't get her, but I bet you do catch a Marvel or a Chiaki the Echo. They're just SR characters, and I really like having one of them in this fight. I especially like Chiaki the Echo and Marvel because they bring more than just speed manipulation to your game. Marvel debuffs the resistance of the enemy to help somebody like Dina pop off. Chiaki the Echo gives your group attack buffs, so that's insane. She manipulates turn meter even when it's like not her turn. They are crazy. So I think you want to mix in like one of those for a Terramaton team, and if you need it early on, sustain is really nice to have. So building yourself a Ling Luo, building yourself a Sonya, they're going to help you out in Terramaton, but then in so much of the rest of the content. And that's really the focus of this video. So really what you do, you take your Leon, your Dina, you take a speed squad unit, you take a sustain unit, and then maybe you throw in one of those DPS bros. Because if you look at the rest of these clears, so many of them have a Victor in them or have a Didding in them. Somebody who's just single target damage. That's the best thing for Terramaton. And so if you build a speed squad DPS bro sustain and the two units for Terramaton, you're off to the races and you are ready to just beat some Terramaton booty. Okay, next, let's talk about Doky Doi. For Doky Doi's sake, I recommend these characters. You're going to get Gray for free. So like if you look at Doky Doi's graphic, Gray you get for free, but then Real Mocha pops up. The thing with Real Mocha is this is the first character on this list that like is going to be sort of difficult. This is a bit of a reach. This is a place where I actually might recommend using your select banner to get yourself Romoka, because Doky Doki is the hardest fight in the game, and Romoka is tailor-made for this fight. You don't have to have her. She's not a must-have, but for me personally, I'm going to do a bunch of pulls because I get my like rebate money. I'm hoping for a Romoka, and I quite literally might select ticket her again with the select banner if I don't get lucky and get her. I did it in the beta. It paid off big time. I might just do it again. Still, if you don't get her, you're fine. You need, though, a crowd control person for Doky Doki. I put Kraken or, what's her name? The, Kazuyo. I always call her Kazuyo. Kazami. Hold on. I'll just look it up. She is right here hanging out. This one. There's two of them. Not Kazami Kazuyo, but Kazuyo the Reverie. She is absolutely the best crowd control person for Doky Doki, in my opinion. She's got the elemental advantage. She puts everybody to sleep. You must crowd control this fight. So Gray plus a crowd controller, or two crowd controllers, that's fine as well. And then mix in some damage and some sustain and some speed. You're going to see me recommending people from the speed squad over there on the far right over and over and over and over again. You just want one, if not two of those people. They are that good. So that's how you build for Doky Doki. Those are the characters I'm focused on there. Again, I don't think the DPS bros, not the best here. You're going to avoid using them in this fight. But you go for crowd control, you go for wind element, or I guess, I'm sorry, not wind element. You go for, wind element characters like Romoka or Gray to get that advantage. This is where if you don't have Romoka, you can sub in a different like AoE DPS character, but those are the characters I'm focused on for the Doky Doki fight. Okay, the next fight on this list is going to be Aurora. Now, Aurora is not something you're going to be farming on day one, but if you're already building some characters, or you're thinking about the selection banner, or if you pull yourself a Shadow Sonya, this is where I can start shouting out some people that might not be obvious day one builds. Okay, best DPS characters for Aurora, and there's two ways to approach this fight. One, I want to point out the Shadow Sonya squad. This is Shadow Sonya and the two DPS guys. You have, Obel down there. Excuse me. Ooh, had to cough. You have Obel down there and you have Fangus. You throw those two with Shadow Sonya on a dot team, they crush Aurora. And not only do they crush Aurora, they crush so many of the late game shell fights. This is a squad that if you start just keeping them in your mind and maybe investing into them a little bit early, when you hit like day 3, day 4, the dividends you get from investing into those units explode. Like you farm shells like nobody's business. You crush Aurora. As you move into the late game, that is such, it's such value to have Shadow Sonya and the dot squad. If you don't, it's fine. Because you can also just approach Aurora from the like, I'm going to build the like ice element characters, or no, sorry, not ice, odd element characters, that blue element, and come in here and do damage. You can see Sean B's clear right here using the Rosa, who is another excellent select summon banner choice if you want 1 DPS of the 3 main elements, which is something I really suggest having. It makes playing the game a little bit easier. Like notice the people I put on the screen, I had a Liana Rilmoka and a Rosa, a SSR DPS of each element is super helpful. But then you're going to want to bring some more damage to this fight. This is where one of the DPS bros, particularly a Victor, can come in here and do a lot of work for you. You need a stripper in this fight, and not like the kind that you throw dollar bills at, but somebody who could come in here and remove buffs from the enemy. This is where that stripper category, where I had Heinrich hanging out in there, and Viper, these characters can just take buffs off the enemy, and Aurora's a fight where you want to take buffs off the enemy. So investing into a Heinrich or a Viper, I think they're the best 2 stripper characters in the game, and I think everybody's going to want to have at least one of those built up. For me, I hope I pull a Heinrich, but it's really possible that I don't ever pull a Heinrich because he's a dark character and you just might not get him. Viper can also do that job. So that's why I recommend having one of those characters. When we're looking at those like categories like the speed squad, the strippers, the DPS bros, and sustain, you definitely don't need to build all of those, but for me personally, I'm going to be pulling at least one character from each of those categories and building them, and the beauty is most of them are SR characters, so the odds of having them are very good. And then look who pops up again. I told y'all, Dina is somebody you're just going to get a lot of value out of. She's in Aurora fights, she's in Terramaton fights, she's in shell fighting fights, she's all over the place in this game. Dina, it might be that she's a top 3 most valuable SR character in this game, and like, she might be she might be competing for number one. I don't know. I still think Marvel's probably number one, but Dina's definitely up there competing. Okay, now when we're talking about shells, here's the deal with shell fights early. Like Jacques, Shadowrunner, Apate. Look, with fights like this, just like you don't really have to worry about the mechanics too much because you're gonna just kind of quickly overpower them. Come with the elemental advantage, like bring a green element to a blue element fight if you can. Read the mechanics if you need a little bit of help. But in these early fights, you're just kind of going to overrun them. But when you get to like Fabian plus, especially when you get up to this like Nico Nana level, right? Notice who you start seeing on Nico Nana clears. It's the Dot team. And Nico Nana is one of the most important farms like in the mid game of Etheria Restart. This is where it starts paying huge dividends if you've started to build those dot teams, because you just start applying the dots to the enemy and Shadow Sonya starts executing people. I know in the beta a lot of people slept on the dot squad, but look, dot squad, dot squad, dot squad, dot squad with a Chiaki the Echo in there to boost their speed. It's so useful. Now in Sharon, the dot squad's not that great, but look who's in here. It's the DPS bros and speed bros and a debuffer. So you see this overlap, like you're just seeing Marvel all the time, Victor all the time, Dina all the time. So Sharon, hey, you can use the DPS bros if you built one or both of them and just come in here and single target kill the boss. They are specialists at that. And then when you get to the hardest two fights in the game, Hoyan and Rengakutsu, guess what you're gonna see? The dot team. So the dot team paying even more dividends. Now, let's say you don't have the dot team. Well, you could come in here with like your Rosa, your, I mean, this person's even using Obro. Like, holy moly, Sean B. Props to you for bringing out the Obro. Like, maybe Obro has some value in this fight if you don't have the dot team. I need to kind of explore that. But Rosa can come in here and start popping off again. So they're seeing Rosa again. Look, Heinrich for like the buff stripping and the blocking. Gray again. You see a lot of these characters. The fights are a little slower because the dot team is the best here, I think. But a lot of those characters I was recommending showing their faces back up here in the in game. And that really is the point of the list that I was bringing up. These are characters that I think will help you immediately as you're farming modules in the first days of the game, as you're starting to clear those first shell dungeons. If you follow this list that I'm throwing back on the screen now, you will have a variety of elements with damage in it. You will have supporting characters for speed from the speed squad. You'll have characters who can strip buffs from the stripper squad, which I didn't think that name is more like, I should have renamed that category, but it's too late now. I'm sticking with it. You have the DPS bros for when you need single target DPS. Having one of those guys built is insanely good. And you'll have some sustain. That's really all you need to get going. And then I want to just say one more time, the most important character in your account is your favorite character. So if your favorite character is like a blue element DPS character, disregard the Rosa. Just disregard her. You have a blue element DPS character. Use them. Use them. Fit them into Rosa's spot. And because that's your girl or that's your guy, is there a blue element? Yeah, the blue element DPS guy's the dog guy. He's just fine too. So I can't remember his name right now, but he's fine. So if that's your bro, throw him out there and let him do his thing. This is my list, and that's how I thought about putting it together. So I hope this list was helpful for you guys. I tried to keep this video as widespread but focused as possible. I try to cover as much of the content as I can while being focused enough to keep the video under 20 minutes. We're nearing 15 at this point, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys. I had a burp there. Thank you guys for watching. Went to an awesome restaurant with the family tonight. We don't get to go out to restaurants as much as I like, but we had a great time tonight. Had a few drinks, sat down to record some Etheria Restart videos. Life's good, man. All right, like and sub if you haven't, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.